Shalom and welcome to week 20. What are we up to? 26, I think. Week 26 of Coffee and Connection. And it's really great to connect with all of you. I love today's topic. It is such an important. Here, I'm just going to. Oh, this isn't working. Some light. Nope, not plugged in. It's such a great topic because it's something that, in some shape or form, I think we all feel at many points in our lives, in our relationships, where we feel like there's something missing. There's something I want more of. There's something that I want to feel in my relationship or I want to see in my home that I'm just not seeing. I'm not feeling it in my marriage. I'm not feeling it in my relationship. Or it could even be with our kids and in anything in our lives. There can often be something that we're feeling is missing. And what do we do, right? So the natural instinct is to feel like, what can I do to get him to do this? What can I do to get him to be more affectionate? What can I do to get him to respect me? And I got to say straight off the bat, right, that there's nothing you can do to get him to do anything. I wish there was, right? But even if you could get him to do it, it would be manipulative, it would be controlling, and it would probably have a negative effect on your relationship anyways. So the goal here is to not to get him to do it, but the question is how can what is there that we can do that can bring more of it into our lives, that can bring more of it into the relationship, that can bring more of it into our interactions with each other. And basically, there are three things that you can do. And I really I invite my clients all the time to do all three of them. It's a great process. It has amazing results. And so I'm really going to invite you as you're listening to think of something that you want more of in your relationship, something, anything. And I know there might be a part of you that's saying, as you hear all three of them, you might think, I've done this. I know this. It's still not working. Well, that's why it's really important to do all three of them at the same time because you may find that you've done one, but you haven't done the other two, or you've done two and you haven't done the third. And they really all need to be done at the same time. Okay. So let's take an example. You all have your own examples. Go ahead, write it down. What do you want more of in your relationship? What do you want more of in your home? Is it affection, respect, appreciation, love, help, kindness? Um, Whatever it is, write it down. Sky's the limit. What is it that you want more of? Okay. And then you want to look at the very first thing, and we're going to take this step by step. The very first thing you want to look at is how can I give that to myself? Okay. Now, this is really important because anything that we want from others, we have to make sure that we're also giving that to ourselves. We're showing ourselves that same idea. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're feeling like my husband doesn't respect me. He doesn't care about my feelings. He doesn't, sweetie, can you please turn that off? I don't know what that is. That's not a picture. Turn that off, please. Okay. My son just would not go to sleep tonight. Please turn that off. Thank you. Okay, so let's say you just don't feel respected. You feel like he just doesn't respect your feelings, he doesn't respect your ideas. So, the very first thing you want to look at is, am I being respectful of myself? Am I respecting myself? Am I expressing myself? Am I knowing that I matter and that my feelings matter, my desires matter? Am I allowing myself to have desires? Am I honoring my feelings? Am I giving myself time for self care? Am I taking care of myself? Am I knowing that I'm doing my best and my best is awesome? Am I giving myself that respect? And very often, when we're feeling like there's something missing in the relationship, the very this is really the very first step because we're often not even giving it to ourselves. And the reason that that is an issue is on a few levels. Number one is that we teach people how to treat us. So if we're not respecting ourselves, we kind of give people permission to not respect us or not love us, whatever your word is, right? Whatever it is you're missing. And even more, and this is where it's really like underlying the issue. Let's say I am not feeling respected and it's starting from myself. I'm not respecting myself. So that means that when I have a feeling or a desire, I might not express it. I might feel like, I don't want it to bother someone, or I don't want to make anyone mad, or it's not so important. And then later I end up feeling resentful. I end up feeling like you didn't care about me. But we always want to look at, well, did I express myself? Did I give him the opportunity to respect me by him knowing what it is that I was feeling? Right? If the issue is that I feel like he's not giving me love or appreciation, well, am I appreciating myself? And the reason this is so important also is because here's another one. There's like so many layers here. When we're not giving it to ourselves, we're empty. That kli, that cup is empty. And so, even if in that moment, even let's say we want appreciation, but we're not living in a place where we're appreciating ourselves and recognizing everything that we do, and we're not feeling full, we're not feeling satisfied with everything that we're getting done. If our husbands come in that moment and say, "Oh, thank you for making dinner," or "Thank you for that smile," or "Thank you for your help today," if we feel like, it wasn't anything, I didn't do anything, then are we really going to be able to receive that appreciation? And are we going to allow it? Are we going to allow it in? Are we going to really take it in and feel appreciated by that comment? When our cup is empty, any drops that are put in, right, when we're depleted, those drops that come in, we're still in minus. We're still empty. It's like, like an empty cup. You put in a drop of water, it's like almost just like absorbed into the cup. It doesn't do anything. When we fill ourselves up, then everything we get is overflow. And that means we can appreciate it, we can acknowledge it, we can feel it, it can resonate with us. It can be um really what's the word I'm looking for here? Like accepted. There's a better word, but it I lost it for a second. So that's the first thing is, am I being that for myself? That's the first step of the mirror work, right? Of what is it that I want? Well, let me bring it in. And when you're giving it to yourself, what you're also doing is bringing it into the space. You're starting to create a culture of that idea. And that brings us to step number two. Step number two is looking at, how can I do that for him? Now, again, when you're doing that, you're bringing it into the space, you're creating a culture of that idea, of that way of being. And you're also doing the second step of the mirror work, which is realizing that so often in our relationships, what one person is feeling, the other person is feeling too. So if you're not feeling appreciated, most likely he also doesn't feel appreciated. And if you don't feel that he's being affectionate, he probably also feels like you're not being affectionate. So what you want to do is start to look at, and you're what you're doing is you're modeling, you're bringing it in, you're yeah, creating a culture around it in the relationship. So that's to look at, how can I do that for him? How can I show him more respect? How can I be more affectionate? How can I make sure I'm being loving to him? And again, this doesn't negate step number one. We're still looking at, how can I do it for myself? That's still going to be extremely important. Okay. So, step number two is all about, let me be the change I want to see. Let me create and bring in exactly what it is that I want. I'm going to be, igniting it into the relationship. I'm going to be living in my integrity. That's a big one, right? I'm living in my integrity. Whether or not that does something for the other person, you're living your truth. If that means so much to you, right? If you're missing that so much in your relationship, that means that that's for you part of an important relationship. That's important for a relationship. So it's an integrity for you to then be that in the relationship. Be that for yourself. And again, you're teaching others how to treat you. You're bringing it into the space, and it models this idea for the other, but more importantly, it's for you. It's not just, well, let me be respectful of you so that you'll respect me. It's like, let me be what it is that I want to see. Let me ignite that idea. Let me inspire myself and everyone around me to be that. Okay. And then there's step number 3. Step number 3 is also crucial to this whole process. Step number 3 is based on the understanding that I see what I choose to focus on. So if I have this belief that my husband doesn't respect me, or that he's not affectionate, or he doesn't appreciate me, or we never spend time together, then I am constantly going to be looking for evidence for that truth. I will be constantly seeing evidence of that. That's what I'm going to recognize. And even if, here's the crazy thing with how this works psychologically, even if there is evidence the other way, if I'm focused on my belief that my husband does not respect me, that my husband does not, you know, um, give me affection or whatever, then even when he is respectful of me or he is affectionate of me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to negate it. I'm going to say, well, that doesn't count because, he had to say that. Or, yeah, but that was just a fluke. He's not usually like that. Or that's nothing compared to how much he doesn't do it. Right. Or I'll push it away because I'm so upset that he's not like that, that I'll push away. So either I'll push it away or I'll negate it. And what I'll stockpile is all the evidence that he is the way I believe him to be, right? That he's not doing the things I want. So, step number 3 is to start to look for, where is he doing exactly what I want? To start to find evidence for what it is that you want. When does he respect me? When is he affectionate? Look for it. Because the more you look for it, the more you're going to see it and show appreciation for it. And really actually show appreciation, both within yourself, recognize it like, wow, he did do that. And you can even say, thank you, thank you. I feel so good when you say that. I love when you touch me. I love when we go out. I'm so happy when you let me speak about how I'm feeling or whatever it is, and point it out to him that he knows how much you enjoy it. But even more importantly, is to see it for yourself, to recognize for yourself that yes, he does that. And the more you see it, the more it's going to increase, both because you're just going to find evidence for it, and because when he knows that it has an effect on you and he sees that you see it and he sees that it has an effect on you, he's going to want to do it even more because, they want to make us happy. They want to know that they can have a positive effect on us. And it's like anything in life. Anything that we focus on is what we're going to see, right? I always say how, like, when we were buying a double stroller, oh my gosh, everyone has a double stroller. It's crazy, right? When you want to buy a city mini, oh my gosh, everybody has a city mini. When you are, I don't know, looking to buy new shoes, you start noticing everybody's shoes, right? we're always going to see more of what we are already focused on, what's going on in our brain, right? The more you learn about relationships, the more you notice other people's relationships. The more you're looking to buy a new shaitel, the more you're going to notice everyone's shaitel, right? The more you're worried about how your house looks, the more you're going to notice what other people's houses look like. It's the reality of how our brains work. So when we choose to focus and look for and notice and appreciate what it is that we want, we're going to find evidence for it. And that evidence is like a snowball. It's going to escalate and escalate and escalate until that's what we see. And not only will we see it more, but it will be there more. And those are the 3 steps, and it's an amazing thing. It's something that you can start using right now. You can start putting into play right now, because step number 1 is really just feeling it and being that, and asking yourself, "How does it feel to be that? What does it look like to be that? How can I be that for myself right now?" And then, how can I be that for my husband, just stepping out of this room or calling him on the phone? Or how would I be different when I'm being that for him? And looking for evidence, even looking back for evidence. You probably have so much evidence going back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years for all the negative things, all the ways he hasn't been all those things that you want. And now you can start to think of, what's some evidence of the fact that he is a good guy, that he is my knight in shining armor, that he does respect me and love me and show me affection? What can I remember? And, over the last day, week, month, year, 20 years, whatever it is, you can really start to use this right now. So I'm going to invite you to, really get focused on what that thing is that you want, and at least one way that you're going to incorporate each of these 3 things. So you should have at the top of your paper what it is that you want, and then how I'm going to be that, how I'm going to how I'm going to be that for myself, how am I going to be that to my husband, and how am I going to, and what's some evidence I already have for the fact that he is that in my life. Okay. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts. I didn't get any chats today, but if anyone has any questions, quickly go ahead and pop them in the chat before we sign off. Um, it's really my pleasure to share all this with you. I love this topic, and I really, yeah, looks like everyone's good. Thank you, Chana. You're welcome. My pleasure. And everybody, keep your eyes open over the next week. Please, God, you will be getting the information for With All Your Heart 2021. So excited, just wrapping up all the details and getting everything together. And I'm excited to share that all with you very soon, the Ezrat Hashem. So until next time, may we all be blessed to live, love, and be loved with all our hearts. Goodbye for now.